We are the Liberty Intelligence Organization Network. Welcome again, everybody. If you've been following us, we just went over eugenics and how awful and atrocious it is. We got some historical understanding of that. Well, we're switching gears here into another topic, although the main focus of this broadcast is the eugenics agenda. You have to understand how they can use other things. Again, they use the police state to enforce the eugenics agenda. Well, they have to force you into the eugenics agenda before they can really, they have to get you in the hospital before they can kill you. They have to get you into their system, into their controlled system, before they can really go after you. So I wanted to talk about the economy, and that's really the big thing that people like to talk about nowadays, is the economy. The fiscal cliff is in the news all the time. We're heading towards the fiscal cliff, and that came out right after the election. Boom. Stock markets crashed when Obama got elected. It really didn't crash, but they went down significantly. And then, boom, talk about a fiscal cliff. Again, they use the control of the economics. They're using this fiscal cliff as a way to blackmail us into doing what they want, into giving up stuff to the government. But I want to start this off by talking about Federal Reserve system. Now, the Federal Reserve system was conceived in 1913 and signed into law, I guess, or became an organization, really, in 1913 under President Woodrow Wilson. And basically what it did was it gave control over the United States of America economy over, instead of being run by the federal government, it was now run by a group of privately owned banks that became known as the Federal Reserve. Now, just because the word federal is in there, it's not operated by the government. This is a private banking organization with private donors and private, stockholders in this Federal Reserve that control the national economy. They control how much money to print. They control base economic principles in the United States of America. And I actually have a quote that I'll probably give in part 2 of this Federal Reserve segment, because I think it's going to cover 2 parts. It's pretty big. But really, it's the heart of the New World Order. The New World Order is controlled by corporate elites, the guys that control the money. They're the guys that run the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is the heart of the New World Order. It is the way they control us financially. Now, why I mention this with the eugenics program? Well, they want to force everyone. They're orchestrating a planned economic collapse, which will force people into welfare. It'll force people into bankruptcy. It forces you. It really eliminates your ability to take care of yourself. So you have to turn to the federal government. You have to turn to the snake. After the snake has strangled you and taken away all the food you had, all the means you had to survive, then you have to turn to the snake and ask the snake to help you. That's basically what is happening here. That is the goal. And again, they want you to do that because once they get people to start turning them, they've already got almost 50% of the population in the United States of America under their system, where they literally have them by the throat, where if the government said so, they could just take away their food, take away their money, and let them die. We have reached that point now, and they want to get more people under this. Really, they want everyone under this, because then they would have global control, or really national control of the one nation that could really stop them, and that is the United States of America. And it's not because of our government, it's because of our people. Our people used to be the guys that stood up for righteousness and good and just. We wanted things to be right in this world. We wanted people to be free, and that's why people admired America. That's why people loved America, because we were liberty-based. We were based in giving people rights and freedoms, not really giving it to them, because you are naturally given those rights. You're born with those rights. All America does is puts in a document and makes it a national identity that we will not let the government stand in the way of those rights. We understand those rights are natural. From our birth, we have these rights. And the government is supposed to be set up so weak. They wanted a weak government that could never encroach on a person's liberty, and that's not what we have today. And it's gotten worse because it's not even a government anymore. It's really a privately owned banking cartel. It's literally it's a criminal organization that controls the money and then in turn uses the money or propaganda or blackmail to control the politicians. So you don't really get many politicians that can stand up to them, because politicians a lot of times have dark secrets that they don't want people to know. Well, if the New World Order elites find out what those secrets are, they can in turn say, we want you to pass this legislation. We want you to say this publicly. We want you to be for this. And if you don't do that, we'll tell the truth about you and ruin you. We'll ruin you as a person. We will ruin your career if you do not follow what we want. And when they can't find any cracks in a politician, they'll start by either trying to demonize them as best as possible. But if that doesn't work, well, we saw with JFK what they do. If they can't control you, if you won't play ball, they'll find somebody who will. And they'll get rid of you one way or another. Again, they used to be big into assassination for it back in the 60s. Now the New World Order likes to just demonize people, and really they've gotten the culture to if somebody comes out, they'll find a way to demonize them as best as possible. And I also want to make a quick redaction. I talked about Cynthia McKinley in one of the earlier broadcasts. I said she might be a Democrat. I'm not really sure. I haven't really looked into her. And I still haven't done it because, again, I'm just trying to organize how to present the New World Order stuff. So she might not be a Democrat, but what does it matter? She's a great politician, a great human being. And if she does decide to run for Congress, even though I don't think there will ever be an honest election again in the United States of America, I honestly don't think there's been one since I was born in 1986. I don't think we've had an honest election in this country ever since then, at least. But regardless, I just wanted to mention that. I said in one of the earlier videos that she might have been a Democrat. But before I go on with the Federal Reserve and really the New World Order, I'm trying to tie how they want to control economics so that they can in turn force us into eugenics programs. So that being said, this will be part one of the Federal Reserve and really the economic aspect of the New World Order. I'm going to get into some really important news about the Federal Reserve when we come back in the next segment. So thanks again for joining us. Stay strong, stay safe, stay free, and stay informed.